dry bread with no drink, no juice. I've got water. That's crazy. That's terrible. That's so terrible. That's as terrible. Healthy. That's as terrible as that howler, that ill, that trash they tried to spin last week.
Wait, no, give us the intro. Wait, give us the intro. We're going into that. We're gonna go into that one.
We haven't even started.
Give us the intro. We're gonna go into that one.
This is the intro.
Bonnet. Nah, finish chewing that bread, man.
Oh, mate. Crazy.
Oh my days. I've never seen someone eat baguette bread on its own. I've never seen that.
Welcome to my world. Listen, first things first, children at home, don't eat with your mouth full. I apologize in advance. For those of you that are listening on Spotify, you already know what time it is. I love you forevermore. This baton is sweet. Don't listen to these guys that don't
Man
eat
said
bread correctly.
Spotify. What about the other streamers?
Obviously,
Yeah,
Apple Music
Don't
and everywhere
forget,
else. Come
yeah.
on, I'm not forgetting about you. I'm just a Spotify guy these days, so I kind of put you in a high pedestal. But everywhere else and everyone else, you know what time it is. But first things first, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. We are back with another week at the back page. You know what time it is. Our favourite striker is still not returned. That is young Sammy. Of course, we wish him all the best in his recovery. But in the meantime, you know what time it is. Again, the boys are here. We've got my boy Shez.
Your favourite winger.
We've got my guy, one of the best producers out here, Mr. Exclusive, Jerry.
Come on, Makaleli.
Yeah.
And again, another one of the UK's best, one of the greatest of all time, Big Show. There ain't no Big Show, it's just Big J.
Come on. That was Big J, by the way, with the sound effect.
Can you imagine his own sound effects? Pay him his dollar. And of course, the one and only, Mr. Official Chins. Listen, my people, it's a new week. You know what? I've got to ask you, how we doing, man? How we feeling?
Same as always, man.
Same as always. I've said this.
That the week has got off to a bad start, so yeah, man. Let's move on swiftly. Yeah, man. But what do you guys want? What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Shags, let's talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
We
I
need to
don't
get
wanna
into
talk
it
about
still.
Wait, talk about what? We don't even know what we're talking about.
Is that part of the topic? Is it part of the
Let me
topic?
just say,
Of
yeah,
course, we're going to
let me
have a
just
little
say,
discussion about the
I'm
Premier
just so happy that I didn't go up to Manchester.
League. Was you going to?
I was planning to.
Oh, you.
I feel like I would have been fuming.
I wish you vlogged it.
So angry.
I wish you
so
went
happy.
and you vlogged it.
I'm so happy I didn't.
I wish you. I'm upset
so
you didn't. The
listen,
viewers were missing
listen,
it. That's good content.
I
I'm
would've
so
been
happy
so angry.
because this was it. Do you know the last, even Liverpool, yeah, the 6-0 or whatever. I remember I was meant to go to that. Both my brothers went as well. They went there. They came back that same day. Yeah, Liverpool smacking us at home. Salah getting a hat trick. And when I thought about that,
De
I was
Bruyne
like,
nearly got a
let
hat-trick.
me not do that. Tickets sold. Let me go.
Good. You saved yourself heartache.
I think you
The
didn't. To be
heartache is
honest.
still here.
You
It's still
should-
there.
you
but
should have
worse
definitely.
heartache.
At least I would have gone out in Manchester, licked a couple beans, you know.
True.
What, Heinz? Is that what you're on?
What
You trying to
do you
cook?
mean, guys, man?
You're out there trying to cook. You went to Manchester to cook your breakfast.
Those kind of beans.
Come on. Little J back, man. I hear you, though. Come on. All right, so we're going to get into it. We're going to hold back another United discussion for a little bit. I'd rather talk about one thing I noticed quite recently, and I thought I'd put it on the back page table. Of course, before we really fully get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all platforms. Boys, obviously, in this wonderful room, we are all African men of British nationality in that sense. I have to say one thing and one thing only. Certain players, Premier League, abroad, regardless, they have somewhat of a presence, you know, especially in positions. And none of us, in my opinion, that I know of, may have played in this position when playing for friends at a certain level. But it's one of the most important positions, probably the most important position on the pitch. And I've got to ask, I've got to put it on the table. Man, them. It's a double question, by the way, so answer as you please. Is Aaron Ramsdale the future of English football as a goalkeeper? But also, to add that, why are English goalkeepers cursed?
In terms of what? I mean,
I mean, let me just put it like this. Season after season, everyone, for as long as we have lived, has spoken so highly of the Premier League. Right or right?
Right.
Yeah.
Best league in the world.
Cool.
Hands down.
Cool. You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So all three of my compadres say it's the best league in the world. I'm sure Sammy at home watching this would agree, and all the rest of you may agree too. But guys, in your agreements, can you name me a top English player within any year that you've, cared for in the Premier League? And I mean goalkeeper, by the way. An English goalkeeper at any point that you would say is arguably one of the best of
As
Premier
in
League history.
before now.
Yeah.
Now and before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on then. You
I'm-
say-
I say yeah.
Joe Hart at one point was one of the
Joe
best.
Hart, I'm not gonna lie, Joe Hart
Yeah.
was up there
Okay.
in his time. Yeah. David
David
Seaman.
Seaman.
Yeah,
David
David
Seaman,
Seaman,
absolutely.
And those are the two that I recall from my
Just two.
for my generation.
Wait,
From
hold on,
me
hold on.
being alive.
Hold on. So considering you've been a young man,
I'm talking about the people that were considered.
I don't want people to know your Nige name, but I'm gonna do it. Obviously, in your 36 years of life,
What do you mean? This guy's
But-
crazy.
you're trying to tell me in the 20 plus years that we've had Premier League football, only 2 English keepers into your beautiful footballing brain has been the most noticeable and great in their own reputation and great in their quality as well. No other keeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
In over 20 years of football, just 2 keepers
Yeah.
that were English.
It's not bad. It's not that bad.
Okay, wait. Let's try and
not that
remember.
bad.
Let's try and remember
Got some
everyone we've
keepers.
had. So from off the top of my head,
And it's
David-
English, by the
yeah,
way.
English
Yeah.
keepers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Seaman,
James.
David James,
Uh-huh.
who else? Joe Hart,
There's a lot of
Paul
Chelsea guys.
Robinson.
Robinson.
Ugh.
What's my?
Pickford.
Yeah,
Pickford.
This is just me naming all of
Yeah,
them.
that's
now.
what I'm saying.
Pickford, Green,
Ramsdale hasn't-
Robert
Yeah,
Green,
Rob Green, of
Green,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
Green.
Henderson,
Yeah, Dean Henderson.
Yeah.
He
Pope,
counts.
Did
Yeah,
Ben
Nick
Foster?
Pope.
Yeah.
Ben Foster, he counts.
Ben
obviously
Foster.
Ramsdale.
He hasn't. He hasn't.
Ramsdale, yeah, I mentioned. Who? Who?
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale.
Yeah.
He's got
No.
a cap for the
I'm.
country.
Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got
Sure?
he
I
got his
think
first one.
Yeah, when he
very
recently got called up, they played him.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
in that
Very
game, I
recently.
think it was a.
That's my
scorer.
boy, Dean Henderson.
Did what's his name ever play for England? I don't know.
Who,
what's
Ben
my man?
Foster?
Yeah, Foster.
Yeah.
Did he play?
I think he was in the squad. I think he's
Yes.
managed to play a few caps.
That's
He's def-
everyone I can reel off the top
Fraser
of my head.
Forster,
Fraser
I don't
Forster
remember
as
who
well.
that is. I can't lie.
Southampton
Southampton.
keeper.
Yeah.
Been there for a minute, but because of long-term injuries, he's had to skirt to the
Henderson.
pipelines. He's
I have no idea
he's
who
like
that is.
he's like third choice right now.
Yeah, peak.
Very very big, solid. He's a good shot stopper.
He's first now.
Who's first?
Yeah, McCarthy's
Yeah,
injured.
McCarthy's
be.
injured.
Okay. Well,
But
that's
my-
about 10 we've named so far. Bearing in mind, not a single one of them names has. what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So, bringing the question back to the table, why are English keepers so cursed at the moment?
Why do you think they're cursed?
Why? Okay. I'll answer that, my brother. Simply,
I just want to understand the question before I try and answer.
because
bruv.
I'm just being real, okay?
Mhm.
And maybe my realness is unfair. And if you do think so, make sure you comment, okay? Give or take that we've had Premier League football for over 20 years, and I'm basing this on just Premier League alone. Every Premier League club is gonna have some form of a talent from a nation, fair. But when we really focus on English talent, that's always the inevitable as well, fair. But for me, and looking at the statistics, for over 20 years of Premier League football, to have less than a handful of goalkeepers who are English in your own league, that's a problem, personally, for me.
Oh, so you mean it in that regard?
In that regard, I think to not have, I'm talking even just the era of football where the arguably the best forwards were playing amongst themselves. Like there weren't a lot of English keepers that was really relevant or considered as top tier quality. Like players like David James, and I'm speaking of him in existence in respect because the amount of appearances he's made, arguably no one can challenge that and all of that. Like I respect that highly, but as I said from the beginning, I'm going to be real. He's not a great keeper. Not a great keeper, in my opinion. I've seen better.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had his moments where he was a good shot stopper, but I think he was in that position where players in his position were always fortunate to either have the right team to get them in a team, getting them to still play. His whole career, he got pammed. Personally,
I think that's black keepers in general.
I mean,
Just
I
how,
won't
just how
argue
you
with
say
that.
English keepers are cursed.
Yeah.
Black
The black
goalkeepers
keepers, yeah, that's the one.
also
I was
ride
can
that
argue with
same
that.
curse.
I can argue with that. I'm not arguing like I'm gonna argue with you. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's debatable.
Mendy's the only one that
That's
seems.
it.
There's
right
gonna
now
be an
to
exception to
Yeah.
the rule.
Yeah.
There's always gonna
Yeah.
be one exception, but on average,
like I would it furthers my point because again, we've seen over years that there's been some talented goalkeepers of black heritage. Like we're talking Cameroon's very own Onana, we're talking Senegalese very own Mendy, and once upon a time, and I'm sure he was as well, Cameroon's Kameni, he was still a
Adeyemi
decent
as
player,
well.
and then Yema, Nigeria's very own, of course, but there was only certain players that obviously took that leap, and I think Mendy of recent is probably the most recognizable one because he's literally done it. These last couple of years, he's just been phenomenal. He's done his thing. He's been a big part of club history and now his national history. He's done his part, but not to now digress because again, black is amazing, black is wonderful, and we are fantastic at what we do. English players here, whether they are black English from an African or Caribbean heritage or just straight up Cockney bangers and mash, someone make it clear to me why you could only tell me David Seaman and Joe Hart were the only ones on the top of your head in
But
20 years of football. Come on,
if you
I think that's a
compare it-
problem.
If you compare it to other countries, let's look France, Italy, or the big ones. Yeah,
Okay.
how many have they had though as well?
You make a valid point. To be fair,
I mean, depends. Are we talking just the nation
just-
alone, or when they came to the Premier League? Because
No, I'm talking about
No, I
the
think-
nation.
I
the
think-
nations,
Just
yeah.
the actual nations.
Okay,
In
so arguing the
comparison-
position, I'm gonna debate it now.
Like,
I'm going with the top of my head. Lloris and Barthez scream at me straight away for France.
Yeah.
but those are the only
That's
two you
it.
know.
That's all
No,
I
but that's because my knowledge right now is being questioned because the rest of them I still think are decent. The likes of Mike Maignan at Milan, Lafont, there's Ruffier, there's there's more that I can name as well. But again, you just hit me with it, so I've given you 5, more than what you gave. Italy,
How about them, man?
past my generation, but I heard a lot about Zoff. He was. No, I'm sure I'm right, but if I'm wrong, again, leave a comment. Obviously Donnarumma, Buffon. There's another keeper even during Buffon's time, and again, you've hit me with it. I know there's another one. There's another keeper. Oh yeah, there was definitely another keeper, Italian, 100%. I know I will, but I'm gonna bring it up at another point. Don't worry, I'll bring the evidence. I'll prove it. Don't worry. And then Spain, Canizares, Casillas, De Gea,
Spain have had a.
Kepa.
I'll give Spain.
Yeah,
Spain have had a lot.
Spain's had their
yeah,
time
Spain's
with
had
keepers.
their
What's in Spanish as well?
Who's this?
Gone.
Position, team he played for or playing for now.
Couture, where's he from?
Oh, he's
Belgium.
Okay.
Cool.
That's Victor Valdez. They've had a.
Victor
they've had
Valdez.
a-
See?
they've had-
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
few keepers,
That's what I'm
actually.
saying. So they've had their share. Like, I'm not trying to say what your statement isn't correct. I mean, you're far fetched, but I will say they have. It's like when you look at them and look at the Premier League or England, I think that's what I'm arguing about. Like, it's only of recent, and I believe I'm gonna say this now for your sake. Gareth Southgate is somewhat a weird savior at this point because maybe at one stage there wasn't enough talented players to challenge the likes of Joe Hart because incomparable to what they have now, Nick Pope,
I mean,
Pickford, Henderson, and Ramsdale.
There
They've
wasn't
not
a-
had good players like that.
I don't think there was until Pickford got picked.
Yeah,
And even
it's
now
true.
that Pickford's
It's
picked, a lot of the neutrals and the genuine fans do believe that maybe it's time for a change. Or
I'm not gonna lie, Ramsdale's next up, and I'm not just.
so that
saying 'cause
answers
I'm
the
an
first
Arsenal
question. Do you, so you believe he's the future of England?
fan. Brother, stop that.
No. But in fairness, Henderson still has a point to prove because he's not playing.
But and that's why I'm saying Ramsdale's the only one that I can see
He's
actively
still-
playing, and I think he's better than Pickford.
I agree with that. Not even being biased.
He's
I
better
agree.
than Pickford.
I agree.
He's better than Pickford.
He can do what Pickford would do, but better. I
But
agree.
will he get the number 1 shirt for the World Cup? We'll
Tune
see.
in next week for Dragon Ball Z. 100%. Like, I appreciate that only because for 2 reasons. As I
'Cause-
said, we're not all keepers.
Who are England's choices right now? So
It's the names you
Ramsdale,
mentioned.
Pickford. Who's the last one?
Pickford, Pope, and Ramsdale. Anyone else just comes
Henderson's
in.
not in the mix. at all.
No, because he's not playing.
He's not playing.
Pope is number 1, Ramsdale's number 1, and Pickford's number 1 for their clubs. Henderson's not involved.
Henderson should be in.
Yeah, but that's your own fault. If
Judge,
you
please,
sold him, then maybe.
loaned him.
At
But
least
it's-
let him
or
go on
loaned
loan,
him.
at
But that
least.
loan that he did get, it brought him in to see if he could compete
Yeah.
with De Gea. But De Gea said, compete. Do you know what
But
I've
he
won?
did- he
Do you know
did-
who
he
I
did
am?
for a little bit, and then
Yeah, but then he reminded people who the hell he is. You have to put respect on De Gea's name. And I think that's what you guys are trying to do now. But I'm not going to lie to you, it's a bit too late. He's going to leave you guys.
Right, he hasn't played at all.
Do you get it?
He hasn't played this.
He ain't played this whole season.
Yeah,
See?
he hasn't.
They ain't dropped him. And considering
you-
you
you're gonna
lot left or you lot kicked Ollie to the curb and brought this man in, he still said, nah, no time for Hendo.
Wait, sorry, I'm just looking at this now. He's been at United since 15, 16,
Yeah. This is Dean Henderson we're looking at.
49 appearances.
As a keeper.
36 of them was while he was on loan at Sheffield. He only appeared 13 times last season.
And that's it.
That's crazy.
That sounds like he needs to be sold. And if I was them, do it.
But they won't. They won't because no, they won't because
the thing
if
is-
De Gea's injured, who's in goal?
Yeah.
Listen,
The
if they
thing is
no. Let me
He's
answer.
too good to not be played.
No. But this
But
no.
It's De Gea as well.
Yeah, no. Look,
For me, right now, De Gea, I don't care if you say nice fan or not. He's the best keeper in the world right now. I don't care. From what I've seen this season, De Gea is the best keeper in the world right now.
All I'm gonna say is-
I'm not bothering myself to argue whether he's the best keeper in the world or not. But why is it that? Yeah, like why
Our
do you?
defense is trash. But I mean, just some of the just analyze with De Gea.
I'm not
as a
saying De
keeper.
Gea is not good, but
Yeah.
to say he's the best in the world, that's
I
Relax.
think he is.
Off the back
No,
of him picking up form.
No,
You're-
I'm
the
talking about
bullshit
it
you're
now.
smoking is
Just
not good for you.
Who have you seen a better performance right now?
Mendy.
No, I haven't though. I haven't.
Okay, you haven't. That's fine, but Mendy.
Okay.
You gave an answer, innit? What did you even argue with? And I feel like, in relation to that again, this is why I love what you guys do for me. You help me bring into the next step because the likes of United, in discussion with Henderson, in comparison to De Gea, maybe it's a decision now where they think, is it time for a change? And the reason why I've brought it up now is when it comes to young ballers, players who either are considered as a talent but they're not playing, or they are a player with a great future ahead of them but they're not getting recognised for their national team. So double question once more. This is even off the top because originally it's going to be the latter, but I'm going to bring up this next point just to get your opinion. Do you guys feel, from a fan and tactical fan point of view, that young ballers should be granted more opportunities to be loaned out, or if they want to go and play, they should go and play? Or, as well as that, do we really feel that players now, before it's too late, make that decision where if they do care enough about their professional career, representing their parenting nation is not such a bad idea?
Well, me, I'm all about young players getting, a bit of spotlight and thriving. If your club ain't playing you, I feel like you should go and test the water somewhere else. And I know some clubs are a bit like, reserving around their youngsters to like go out and go on loans and stuff like that. But I would push because we've seen a lot of talent and we've seen a lot of players, young players that have, been able to show their ability by pushing for a loan move or even pushing to come out of the club. Because like Chelsea, for example, Chelsea is a perfect example. They've got a lot of talent and a lot of the players there, and I feel like they are conscious already that the likelihood of them getting an opportunity is very, very high. Hence why you see people like Lamptey and Livramento leaving Chelsea to go and and luckily enough they've got other Premier League spots. Yeah. But I feel like, if your club, if there's no space for your club, and again, this is really just a kind of top half of the table kind of problem. The lower teams in the league, I feel like they are more open into, exploring their young talent and stuff like that. But if you're at a top 6 club or whatnot, I feel like, listen, go and get some experience somewhere. Put your name in the spotlight and the headlines and all that kind of stuff. And then if it's right, come back or You don't have to make it at that top 6 club. You can still work your way, and I understand why some people might be reluctant, because once you kind of go down, it's like, why am I going from the team? It's got to look like I'm going from a team up there to a team down here, and I get that, but at the same time, I personally would rather be playing football than be on the bench.
Exactly.
And that goes same for like international football as well. Like, I feel like a lot more players should be testing the water with their thing, with their like home nations, rather than like playing for England and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I feel like FIFA are trying to change that as well, simply because they put in that rule where teams like Chelsea can no longer hoard young players.
Yeah.
There's a cap now, because Chelsea used to buy like 50 young ballers and just send them out to random feeder clubs.
I remember there was a season they had a ridiculous
bare amount of
players on loan.
and as well as random feeder clubs.
Yeah.
So now they put in a cap, so these youngsters can actually go to like Southampton or other Premier League clubs and get proper game time, like in serious matches. Not no lower league in Sweden. No disrespect, but they can get proper minutes and proper matches under their belts and establish their careers. And also FIFA did change the rule allowing players to switch nationalities, because before, once you played for a senior team,
How does that
that
rule
was it.
work? Like,
That was
because
it.
Too many people have been switching. That
It seems the rule states that once a player makes their competitive debut for their country, they're no longer eligible to switch.
Yeah, but they've changed that now.
But they
Now you
changed
can.
it. So you can.
So that's why I'm saying FIFA now. FIFA even agree with us. Because back in the day, England will cap you just so you can't go and now play for your other country.
Yeah, it's so mad. Even just thinking about that, it's so crazy. Like, some people, imagine being English and then you never play international football.
yeah, that's mad.
You know what?
That's
I have imagined it, and do you know who I wish that?
Don't play
that-
for Ireland.
Do you know who I wish went and had that kind of international career?
Who?
Darius Vassell.
What's your beef with Darius Vassell?
I
Yeah,
don't
wait,
understand why he played football. I don't.
Why?
I'm gonna say this to you
No,
directly. If
Chins-
you're ever listening, no,
Chins,
I
I'm not
want you
gonna lie,
cancelled.
Chins, you're
I
rude.
want
I'm
you
not gonna lie.
cancelled.
Hey, you know what? I got something for
I
Chins.
want you cancelled.
Chins,
What
you're
have you got for
rude.
me?
Oh.
Oh, hey,
Oh.
I'm still cancelling you.
Hey, Shakes, do the honors.
Yes.
We finally got. Hey.
Alright, cool. For those of you that are not,
Yes.
for those of you that are not seeing what's just happened,
And I want you to look at it.
the most
To
exclusive,
acknowledge that you've
the
been
most,
given this.
the most exclusive of all exclusive, Jerry has managed to go to the shop for whatever reason.
anybody have
Go
a
for
pen?
beach.
No,
Go.
it's needed still.
Amazon.
He's
still.
now
actually
he's now managed to purchase officially the yellow and red cards.
£3
And
on Amazon.
Shez has issued me a yellow card
given it?
for last week's behaviour.
So what's
No,
it?
and this
no.
week's-
If we're talking about last week,
Darius Vassell.
last week,
I've done
that's
nothing
a
wrong.
Laundering.
I've done nothing wrong.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Him playing.
If we're gonna
is a- is
if
a
we're gonna
mess.
involve last week's, you should even miss one game.
You
fam.
should miss a game.
You know
should
what?
really miss a
Big
game.
J, if
In all
I'm
honesty.
gonna be missing a game,
In
you're
all
coming
honesty.
with me.
In
Yeah?
all honesty.
Because the way you're treating me, this is on you, blood. This is about you know.
Oh, it actually even has the
Is
thing
that
as
the
well.
right? Oh, you got the
Yes.
official thing.
Yes.
Where'd you get this from?
Amazon.
Do you know I'm just gonna buy one of these and just keep it for myself
Oh
all
my
day?
days.
Listen, like a bit on the
No.
bus, I'll issue these out, bruv. Hey, Jerry, this is cool. Hey, listen, you're on the card. This is
That's
real-
fine.
You're on the yellow card
mate.
still.
So,
You're on the yellow.
so just to clarify for the people now, I've received the yellow card for today based on last week's actions. Yeah?
No, you should receive red, but we're just allowing you just because of the new week.
You need to
know,
clarify
we'll
because
allow
I can't should receive something. I'm
Okay.
getting the yellow card. I can appeal my yellow card right now if you're gonna do what it is because
You
it's
got
not
away
sensible.
with it. You got away with it last week.
You got away with it.
I got away with it.
You got away with
you
it.
got away
but
Just
then-
remind, just
Wait,
remind.
let me say
Just
something.
go on.
You
go
got
on.
away with it last week, yeah, but we're giving you this yellow, yeah, because the fence was so mad that you. There has to
that
be some
deep.
kind of repercussion.
It's
for it.
actually so not that deep. It's
There
actually
has
not
to
that
be
deep.
some kind of repercussion.
You know when it's mad, yeah? Like, as my brothers, yeah? You man are onto me for something that I wholeheartedly swore to you I didn't know at the time. It wasn't like I done you dirty on purpose. I would have admitted it. I would have admitted it.
Jerry, have you guys heard an apology?
For what?
I'm not gonna lie.
For what?
I just accepted the one that I didn't get.
For what?
That's
You know
all,
what?
man.
I'm glad you accepted the one you didn't get because you're not gonna get one. Well, what are we
Watch
getting
it,
an
mate.
apology? What are
Watch
you getting
it,
an
mate.
apology for?
Watch it, mate.
What are you gonna put? You know what? I'll declare it now because I'm an honest man, and I don't understand why you man treat me like I'm not an honest man. I said last week upon the situation, finding out what it was, and if you missed it, I'm gonna remind you. Okay, listen closely. During our game of Guess the Footballer, which will be back this week, today especially, I issued a player for the guys, the 3 facts, blah 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 blah. Now, one of the facts included the player's international goal record, which was the fact that he wasn't capped at senior level, but none of my fellow panelists were aware that the youth level and anything was involved. So wholeheartedly as well, the majority knew that they recently found about that same player declaring for his native country, which is why we've spoken about it this week. I have put my hands up, and I'm again doing it in honor of the team at FF. My bad. I didn't know until them man said it, like, oh, he's declared for Nigeria, and even now that it was as recent as I believe yesterday or 2 days ago from my recording, that he's been declared into the senior national team for Nigeria. So if he makes his debut and scores on his debut, listen to my words close. If he makes his debut and scores on his debut, I will give you not only an apology, but I will take any forfeit you give me. Has to be sensible and has to be PG.
I'm gonna let Shegs pick.
Wow.
Any forfeit you give me, but it has to be sensible. Has to be
Anything.
sensible. And I said it has to be sensible.
I know,
When is
but
that match even?
when
When is that match?
I hope it's not anytime soon. But I'm not sure. Check on Google. We will absolutely move on though, because I don't want you guys getting too excited. It's not about me, it's about the people. And remember, like,
I'm
comment,
not
and
gonna lie,
subscribe.
I'm really enjoying the fact that we've got cards now.
I can't believe
I'm
it.
so happy.
I can't believe it. But I can, because Jerry meant it. He's like, yeah,
Come on.
I've got this.
Come on.
And you know what else I've got? I've got the next topic to discuss. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The best club in London has been put up for sale. And the Russian man who owns that club has put a price on this club. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have to ask you. When Newcastle was purchased, was that a 400 million purchase? Roughly.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Along the lines. It was less than $1 billion though, right? Realistic.
Yeah.
This Russian man has now said to the world that Chelsea is available to anyone for approximately 3 to 4 billion pounds. Now, I swear on my mother's existence and my late father's grave, I ain't got no money. And the money I do have ain't no 4 billion, let alone 3 billion.
All
Is
I was-
Chelsea worth that much?
All I was gonna say was his profit margin is about to be crazy.
It's gonna be
Crazy.
How much did he buy Chelsea for?
150,
he said-
150.
Didn't he say?
150, something like that. It was
But-
silly.
Didn't he
It was
say the
silly.
proceeds will go to Ukraine?
How much?
I'm sure it was something silly like that.
I'm gonna Google it and show you because I didn't want to say it.
Oh,
Or am I lying? I swear he said
Yeah.
that when whatever he gets from it, it's
is
gonna
it
go to
Carabao
Ukraine.
Prize Fund
I've heard
kind of
something
money?
like that. I've heard.
Huh?
I've heard.
Is it Carabao Prize Fund kind of money?
Oh wow! Oh
No, no,
wow!
no.
You are a mess. Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing?
I'm just checking.
See,
I'm just
that's a-
checking.
that's a warning.
No, that's
a
not.
warning.
Hey,
That's-
hey,
that's a
hey,
warning.
put those cards back, man.
So Abramovich bought Chelsea in 2003 for 140 M's, and now he wants to sell it for 3 or 4 billion.
Told you. I told you.
Profit margins
Told
is
you.
crazy.
Man, that's
Crazy.
profit.
That's
I hear
more. That's more than 10 times
profit.
what he bought it for.
But I
That's
hear it.
more.
I hear it.
You have to.
I hear the price.
When you're involving yourself in any situation, football especially, whether it's with a player or a club, and you put your money towards that person or that part of organization, and even if it's no money involved, you have to make profit of it. You have to make some kind of profit of
He
it.
might struggle though, because who's got
It's
that kind of
easy.
money?
What?
People have that.
Do you,
Yeah, but
There's
who
gonna be-
wants
there's
to
gonna be-
spend that?
do you know what I think is going to end up happening? It's either going to... one
gonna
person
be a
will buy
group.
it, or
Yeah, it's- I reckon it's
some
gonna be a
people are
group.
going to bag themselves together and be
Yeah,
like, let's
yeah,
go and
let's-
get this thing.
Let's do an agreement and put a certain amount
I want to
together.
be involved.
You want to be involved?
Me with my chiquita now. That's it, bro.
Man said cheeky. Big man, that's not even 0.00001%.
Does that even get you pie and mash? A large.
That might get him a water at every game, but that's about it, bro.
Nah, you know what though? All jokes aside, I feel this interesting at this point because I can see it from a Chelsea fan point of view. They are I don't want to say the
They're
word.
upset. Do you know, I know
yeah.
they're upset
They're
because during the match against who did they just play?
Burnley, away from
Burnley.
home.
When they were doing the Ukraine
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
they-
thing,
they
they were
started-
singing
Roman Abramovich.
his name.
Wow.
Them are not hurt.
Every when I was reading that little thing that he messaged I wrote, I kind of felt sad. Not sad as if I'm a Chelsea fan or not, but
Are you
like
sure?
just seeing this guy in football over the years and where he's taken the club.
But do you know
it's
what?
kind of like, wow, he's not about anymore.
But do you know what? You know,
Yeah.
before he went to buy Chelsea, they were saying he's got ties with like Russia and that, and
Yeah.
like,
Of course.
are you
But
sure you're gonna let him buy it?
everything's always been alleged though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
now
that's just people. I mean, like, there's no fronting. Like,
Where?
Putin's his brethren. That man there, he was involved. He was heavily, always had some involvement with the political side of the nation. It's just over the years, no one really paid much attention to it, and and rightfully so, because when you're here, it's only about here. If only matters to them when if it was like let's say for example, just hypothetically, whoever at the time was president of the United States was coming over here to visit a Premier League club, and even in just saying that in hypothetical, what on God's green earth is he doing? Like, is he bored? Like, what business would the president of the United States have with a Premier League club? What reason would you have? What, to watch a game? To go chat to them like the Queen did with Arsenal many moons ago? What for? What for? Like, they're doing this thing now where they're choosing, they're picking and choosing when they feel it's necessary to consider the mix-up of football and politics. When if you know what you know, then fairly speak your piece. But if you don't know much, leave it to them, because at the end of the day, he's a business owner. He's a
I
businessman.
wouldn't even say it's football and politics. I'll say it's money and the UK,
Yeah.
because if he didn't have no money and that, he would not even be in this country. The
I
fact
agree.
that he was a
I agree with
flipping billionaire,
Yeah, like,
they said,
ooh.
yeah, cool, golden visa, you
Yeah,
man can
yeah,
come
yeah.
here
But I think
as
even
long as you
that-
want.
I feel like if he owned a club that wasn't as big as Chelsea, it's whatever.
Yeah, they
Literally.
probably won't even care.
But because it's big Chelsea and he's
Yeah.
got big money, it's like they've just got man all over the headlines, bruv.
I want to actually double up on your point and just add a question to the Mandem. I'm gonna put it on the table. Mandem, if money can be so highly discussed at this level of football in this current day and age, why can we not look to put a young 500,000 on grassroots football?
Who's
In general, like there's certain
The
clubs
FA.
in just in the FA in general, and their partnerships with Premier League clubs and players at that.
wasn't
Why
that?
can it not
But
be?
wasn't that part of the whole discussion of the Super League getting cancelled? That
They tried to, but I
that-
don't think there was any
you now have
discussion
to
that the
invest
money
in grassroots and lower league.
was it solidified or was it hypothetical? Was it just alleged? Was it
I think that was part of their punishment. The teams that
Can you imagine?
wanted to be in the Super League.
I remember it was mentioned. I don't really know any more on it though.
I feel if there was any consideration of that being the case, I would hate to consider it as a punishment. Realistically speaking, that kind of money that they play with season after season, I'm talking top clubs spending all of 80 to 100 mil per transfer window. Like one club at a grassroots level, Saturday, Sunday league, doesn't matter. Literally, for them to be in a decent position for giving you an approximate 2 years, decent position, a good 40,000, 30,000. I'm being nice saying this.
Yeah.
30, 40,000 for the club to run with. It's all right, considering they literally just need that money to protect them from players having to pay to play, for one, covering cost of kits, facilities as well. And even that's going to come over time, because if you give all what you require, and if there's money left over and they are at a decent level, you might be able to pay those players, enticing them to getting the best options at that level, winning trophies, getting higher end positions, and then now you can then build facilities. My reason of bringing it up is just, it seems to me, again, I think your point is very valid here, that maybe it's not so much Chelsea fans, he's doing what he may be thinking is right. Maybe it's just money. Because why would he need 3 to 4 billion? Why couldn't he put it up for 1.5 to 2 billion? when he purchased it for 10 times less.
Well, maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants 1.52 billion, but in order to get that, you have to
You have
inflate
to
the price,
inflate the price.
and then
Yeah.
you just lower it. But that's what I really wanted anyway.
See, Jerry's a businessman.
It's exclusive for a reason. And do you know what else is exclusive? And I'm glad you've led me to this point again. This is a wonderful topic I want to bring up to the man them, just to see if anyone actually knows about it. Oh, Big J's just found
Info.
something incredible.
I was gonna say it, but I wanted to be sure. Chelsea have a 1.5 billion debt,
Okay.
so it makes a bit more sense.
Makes
Yeah.
a bit more sense now.
Yeah.
And that debt,
Cover the debt.
I'm guessing that
Cover the
debt
debt
is
and
Romans.
I don't.
It's his
well, I
money.
mean, it
They
says,
owe Romans.
so
could be a bit of both.
it says the club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but who did it owe?
It just says
Probably Roman.
Could
it just
be,
says Roman confirms he will sell Chelsea and quashes 1.5 billion
Exactly.
debt
It's
owed
his-
by the club.
Exactly.
Mad.
So it's like me. It's like if Big J owes
Maybe
me money,
Roman.
you're in debt to me now.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
So-
the club owes Roman
Exactly.
1.5 billion.
Exactly.
That's why. So it's almost like he's put that in
Wait.
the price tag.
Yeah.
They owe him the 1.5 bill
Yeah.
or 5 mil.
Bill.
It says here. So, but I think if he sells the club for what he wants it for,
So 1.5.
he's not gonna ask them to repay that money.
Because he would have sorted out from
So
that.
it's he's basically put the money Chelsea owe him in the price
in the
tag.
price tag.
That's why it's so
Pay
high.
that off, so you got your thing. Okay, see, business.
So it makes a
owners.
bit more sense
It
now.
makes perfect sense. Absolutely, I'm glad you did that for the people. There you go, Chelsea. Go pay your debts. Go pay your debts, but before the Russian bailiffs come knocking on your
So
door.
that means without that, he probably would have asked for like 1.5 or maybe, two.
2, 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just so I go back into the point now I was gonna make, and it's just again a question I like to ask my guys. It's on the table. Boys, have you heard of the London FA Awards before?
Who?
Yeah, I have just
What?
this week.
Nothing. Just this
Just
week.
this week.
Enlighten me.
Just this week.
Alright, so
Man
I'm
said
gonna
just
be
this
honest
week.
with
Just
it.
this week.
Today's Monday, you know.
Yeah,
Innit? The
come
week just started.
Should I mention yesterday? But I said just this week. It was you know the only reason why I heard of it, yeah? I
Go
think I don't know who. There was one Insta page was covering or something like that, and then they put like the players that were nominated, and then someone in the comments must have been like, "Oh, how's Salah not there or whatever?" And then it was like, "This is just London,"
It's
and I was
London.
thinking, "Wait,
It's
bruv,
London.
what is this trash? What is this?" And this is the first time I've ever heard of it. But
I'm glad you said that. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've heard about it. I've known about the awards competition, if you want to call it that. But it's a strange one. Ooh, it's a strange one. Solely because the level of importance for the London teams having their own separate again awards competition and whatnot is questionable, which is why it's on the table. But the players who won it, it's an interesting one because there's different awards provided. They
Wait,
have
what's the name of it?
London FA Awards, and I said FA
I'm
because
not gonna
literally
lie.
it's Football Association.
For me, it just sounds like something someone cooked up in their house, bro.
like an individual's Carabao Cup Awards.
Literally. It's
How long
like-
has it been running?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, it's definitely been going on for just under around 10 years. Yeah, yeah.
I know, but if I'm only just hearing about it now, then
It's a bit of a.
I don't think
mistake.
it's a credible something. It just sounds like something that someone thinks. Do you know what? I just want to reward the man them in it.
Yeah.
that's what she was.
Yeah,
That's
like
what it sounds
they're
like.
kind of trying to claim you're giving back to the community.
Like it's not no Ballon d'Or, PFA or nothing. Like it's
Nah.
I don't think it's even something the players care about.
Bruv, it's mid-season. Like the PFA, and that's still going to be rewarded to somebody at the end of the season. So it's literally like, let me get some of your time whilst you're during your busy schedule. Let me give you this little piece of something, and just give me a smile. And
Like have you ever seen someone referred to as London FA award winner?
No, never.
There you go.
you know what's amazing that you said that? Ian Wright's won it. Wenger's won one.
Serious.
Okay, they've won it, but did they go and collect it?
Yeah, they got it.
Oh, is it?
They were
actually
there.
went
What?
They were
Did they
there.
win
So what is this?
Yeah.
It wasn't Zoom.
No.
It wasn't Zoom.
Cause me, I will not turn up. I will not turn up. I'm sorry.
I don't know what this thing is. Then.
Nah, man.
No, bro.
Wait, so they
It
do,
just
they
doesn't-
do Manchester FA.
That's what I wanna
and
know.
Liverpool FA. And
If because I didn't care enough, I didn't double check where they done it. And honestly, if
need
someone's
to
willing to
find
do
that
it,
out,
check
man.
where the venue was. It literally happened the other day, and literally they held it. They would show people were there collecting the trophies. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I can't believe it.
I'm going off from the top of my head because I'm only here to talk about the two main awards presented. But for example, who was I gonna say to you now? I think the women's player of the year, for example, was top of my head, it was one of the Chelsea players. I'm sure it was one of the Chelsea players, and then one of the managers, Emma Hayes, she was given like manager of the year, or her contribution in women's football. So that was also a reward. But the two rewards that I was gonna mainly discuss with you guys, and again, it's because it's still gonna be player of the year and young player of the year decided by the end by the PFA. Declan Rice was declared as the player of the year from the London FA, but young player of the year was given to none other than Palace Lone League Conor Gallagher. And once it was kind of brought into one of my group chats, obviously I've got a very good friend of mine who is a Bukayo Saka fanatic. He's been bragging about him from the very beginning, probably even when he was born. So I'm only going to do him right by speaking on it again. It's on the table. Do we feel, even though we've already agreed how irrelevant these awards are, but just for argument's sake, do we feel that the likes of Saka, and not the likes, him exactly to be honest, should have really been the one to get the young player of the year over Conor Gallagher, or do we think fair is fair?
Well, my first question is, like, what's the period of where they're judging, like,
That's
their
another
thing?
thing.
Because
And who votes?
like, yeah,
That too.
That's amazing. That's amazing. No, you make fair points.
because
I
If
can't
it-
give
if
you
it's
the
a- If
facts.
it's a public vote, then it's just it's
I
whatever. innit?
think, I'm not, again, it's not my facts. I think it goes to either a public vote or voted by players and representatives
Cool.
within that London club.
Who's on the panel?
true though. That's true.
Real talk. Who's
Valid,
on the panel,
valid.
bro?
These are all valid. No, every question you've all asked are valid, and I'm not gonna lie. That's why
Is it public? Is it panel? Who's on the panel? Like, there's
Yeah.
so many
there's
things.
so
bro.
many things, and that's why bringing last week to the table, because they go hand in hand. These competitions, these awards, they're irrelevant, man. Why did they exist? Like, England's the only one to still have a League Cup competition going on. Why? Don't know. Because the prize money don't benefit nobody. Like, that money wouldn't even do well for a championship club.
That money,
It's just
certain man earn
cheap,
more
man.
than that on a weekly.
Do
So
you get it? And then on top of that, you got this award, like, when Wenger got his contribution to a London Club Award in whatever year it was, that was the one time I could say he had looked so displeased for anything. Like, and he's usually the type of guy to be proud of his accomplishments and anything and more. The likes of, God, Dimitri Payet was involved. He's won something there. Harry Kane as well. Like, the competition, that awards exists. I don't know why
I didn't
it's
even
there.
say what I was gonna say.
Oh, you trying to be nice? You trying to be nice?
Bruv, you just said best Spurs, man. That's all they can go and collect.
That's so rude. That's rude. That's rude. That's rude. That's mad. That's mad. That's mad.
Oh man.
There was no false statements there. You was absolutely right. I wish you said it sooner.
It's true though.
I wish you said it sooner. It's true. And you know what? I'm glad I said it, because